Well, hello. So I got another Facebook Marketplace deal, quote unquote, I guess you could say. Got a Hypertherm Max20 plasma cutter. Doesn't work, of course, because I got it fairly cheap, 40 bucks. I may have lost 40 bucks. I'm gonna find out. Find out soon enough. But I thought for 40 bucks, it was worth a try. Something to just piddle with. So I do have the air hooked up. Missing a ground clamp, so I have a temporary homemade ground, and it does fire up, and it will do the air pressure test. That appears to work. And the gun works, and my compressor turned on. So I didn't expect that, so the the audio might not be as good right now. But all I'm getting is just a little and a little bit of a whine from the machine when I do that. So got some investigating to do. So I'm gonna unplug the machine and open it up. Alright, so I removed the what do we got? 3, 6, 9, 12, maybe 16 screws around the sheet metal enclosure. Had to drill one out. It was giving me fits. And let's see what kind of a mess we got inside here. Got some signs of dirt daubers. The guy I bought this from said that it was his father's, and it's been sitting in a storage building for he doesn't know how many years. So it looks like to me a lot of years. Whoa, there's a very large capacitor right there that I want to not get my hands near, since it should be holding a charge if it works. Looking for any signs of burnt wires or anything obvious. I really am not that good with electronics. I do see a fuse here, and it looks to be good. Let's see about that. Get around that dirt dauber nest. Yeah, that fuse is good. Well, that would have been an easy fix, just to swap out a fuse. Okay, I think I'm going to take this outside and blow it off with compressed air and get this dirt out. And I really wish my shop heater had not have gone out, because it's 30 degrees in Texas today. So, all right, I'm going to clean this up some. All right, so I blew everything out and tried it again. Thought I had the video going, but I didn't. And it didn't work. There's that fuse I mentioned, and it's good. I think this back in the back there. Let's see if I can right back. There's my screwdriver. So this right here, I think that's a small contactor, and that appears to be part of the startup. It seems to work. It powers up. And then there's another contactor down here, or what I believe is a contactor. I lost it. Okay. So there's another contactor here, and I don't know if you can tell, but there's some like built up material on those contactor contacts. So I think I'm going to get some sandpaper, try to sand those down and see if maybe that might be the problem, because that appears to trigger when I hit the torch button. So maybe our full electrical power is not going through there or something like that. I think I'll give that a try. All right, so there's the contactor, what I'm calling a contactor, and I've got some, I guess this is 100 grit, 150 grit sanding belt, because this is pretty, it's a pretty nasty buildup under there, and that's trying to wear it down. And wow, it's pretty tough. Sorry, you can't really see what I'm doing, but I think you probably understand. Try not to damage this thing as I do this. It's a little better. And then it seems to be worse on the bottom on this one. And oh yeah, that cleaned up faster on that side. I'm gonna hit the top too, even though it doesn't look as corroded. And then I'm gonna hit the bottom on this one. If I can slip in there. Let me cut this down some. There. Try to scuff the bottom of that a little. That looks good. Still not really happy with the top. It still has a, I don't know, a burr or whatever you would call that. Still there. Wow, it's tough. And this may not accomplish anything, but it's something to try. Yeah, I think that's fairly good. I'm gonna plug it back in with the cover off. I don't know if you can see this cord. This is a cord's seen better days for sure. So I'm surprised I don't get electrocuted just by plugging the cord in. Let's put the air back on it. And the regulator works back there. And let's turn it on. So you can see that. You can see that contactor arc even. Let's try this. See if we get any bigger sparks, or if I get electrocuted. Same thing. So we're just not getting the full force. I'm going to turn this all the way to maximum, which is only 20 amps. This is just a 20 amp machine. It's not super powerful to begin with. So, that's not doing it. Let's turn it back on. So much for another easy fix. This torch, you can see the cord is really, it's been twisted and twisted and twisted a lot. So kind of makes me wonder if maybe we have a broken wire in there. I'm not really familiar with how plasma cutters work, and I haven't used a plasma cutter in decades, but I do see. So this is the line. Hang on a minute. Let me get the screwdriver. So here's my screwdriver. So this is the torch cable. You can see it feeds out to the front and then right there. So this is the torch cable here. And you see there's multiple wires that are bundled inside there. I see 2, 4, 6, 7, and then of course there's the air line in the middle, and I suppose maybe there's a main electrical line that carries the voltage, you know, the high voltage. I don't know. So I'm kind of wondering if that's not you know, the full force of the voltage isn't making it down its way there. This unit does have a high frequency start, but if I shorted it out directly onto the workpiece, that should be that should eliminate the need for that high frequency. If that's not working, it doesn't look like it's working. There's no spark jumping across, so it doesn't look like that works. I did download, I found on the internet a manual for this unit from 1989, I believe it was. I think I'm going to go warm up for a few minutes and read the manual. Just read through some of the troubleshooting. I think there's a wiring diagram in there. I'm more of a mechanical person, not very well versed in electronics, but I know enough to kind of get me by, so maybe I can see. I'm starting to assume, and when I bought this, I assumed that I was going to be out $40, you know. But for $40, I thought it'd be fun to try. All right, I'm gonna go take a break, warm up, and read the book. Sometimes you just have to read the instructions. All right, so it's the next day, and fortunately, I was able to find an instruction manual for this model that had a troubleshooting guide, and it even has a wiring diagram and so forth. And I think I found the problem. So I went through all the checklists here, and I got down to the unfortunate wire leads are bad to replace the torch. So I don't really want to do that. You know, I just wanted to see if I could get this running for $40. I did look on the internet, can't find this torch for this model. I'm sure they're available for a price that I don't want to pay. So I decided to pop this one open, and lo and behold, I don't know if it's going to show up in the video, probably not, but there is a damaged wire there, and it's been arcing against the I guess this is kind of the main airflow tube, I guess. And I think that's my problem. In fact, I know that's my problem because I fired it up and it works now, as long as this wire is not making contact. It looks like somebody's been in this before. There's some electrical tape repairs, and there's a mashed wire where they put it back together wrong. And this component here, I'm not able to read the number on there. Not sure what that is, but looks like someone replaced that. But so I'll fire it up and show you here. Plug it back in. All right, so I've got it powered back up. The air is on. And without the short, there we go. That's the problem. So now I'm going to, I think, this is all kind of tight inside this housing. What did I do with the housing? So everything's packed in there pretty tight. This is the correct side here. So I can't just put a butt splice there. In fact, let me turn this thing off while I have my hand up here. I can't just put a butt splice there. It's not enough room. So I think what I'm going to do is cut this splice off, run a piece of heat shrink tubing over that wire. I think the other one, actually it may have a little bit of a damaged spot on it, so I may do both. I'll have to look a little closer, but run a piece of tubing over that, shrink it down, replace this butt splice, and I think we'll be all good. All right, so let me do that. All right, so what I've done here, I put some heat shrink tubing over it. It turned out but that other wire also had a little perforation in the insulation, and I could see the copper. Heat shrink tubing on both of those, and then replace the butt splice, and then also put some heat shrink. Turns out that they had this a non-insulated connection there and just had put tape over it. So I just pulled the tape off and put some more heat shrink tubing on there. And now I'm going to see if I can get this back together. Hopefully everything still fits. It seems like there's not a lot of room in there. So let's see if see how this fits. It's still a little, I'm going to have to negotiate a little in there, I think. If I ever get it back off. There we go. Yeah, it's that same spot as where it was making contact. Let's see if I could, I don't know, maybe route those wires more that direction. I don't know if that's going to help. I'm going to try not to pinch the wires the way it was when I opened this up. I may have to cut this. There's a wire tie there. If I cut that out of the way, that may give me some more room. Let's try that. Caught something there. Well, I think that's it. Let me get those screws in there. There's one long screw in the center. I don't know, it's a little, there's a little resistance in there. That one. And let's see, that one was already missing. I was missing one screw. I think I'll go ahead and put those back the way they were and just have that one missing. I definitely know that one's needed, and these two down here, I could take that and put that there, but I know these need to hold down where this wire's at. That center's kind of tight. I think this one's probably least important, so that's a little bit of a crack there. So I don't know, I may have to pull this back apart and reroute it again, but I'm going to test it out and see. I'm going to fire it back up and just see if anything has changed. So plug it in. get my lights. Let's see if it still works. Uh-oh. Well, something else is going on. Well, I guess I need to be careful. I think I still don't have a good connection. Or maybe this is it. Okay, so got a piece of, now this is 1/4 inch, and this is not even rated to cut 1/4 inch, but let's see what happens. And hopefully I won't catch anything on fire in here. Through the breaker. I forgot I also had a small heater running on that same circuit, so that didn't help either. Alright, let's try it again, see if we can get through some 1/4 inch. Even though it's not rated for it, it did do some, I don't know if that's going to focus on that, but it did cut a little. See if I can cut this corner off. Well, it's not perfect, but it's good enough for me. So that's 1/4 inch thick. So what's the moral of this story? If it's on Marketplace and it's broken, doesn't necessarily mean it's broken. It's just broken for somebody else. So if you like piddling like I do, just piddling with things, that's what I call it. That's what we call it here in Texas. Just piddle on stuff. You can get some good deals. I've been doing a few test cuts, and this is really nasty, rusty 1/4 inch wall angle iron. I'm not real straight with it. I didn't have a straight edge, but you can see it cuts. Oh, I mean, it's decent, and I even cut a beveled cut. So I thought I would mention that just in case you find one of these old Max20 units somewhere and you're wondering what it can do. It can do more than 3/16. I tried to, you may see that hole in the center there, I tried to pierce and go left to right. It will not pierce 1/4 inch, which, that kind of makes sense. But you can start on the edge and cut 1/4 inch. Just don't pierce it. You'll get a face full of sparks if you try that.